I did find some maps that are going to be useful, I think, in the future here.
Oh, wonderful.
If we remember to use them.
That was one time. One time.
You guys, on your way out, Laya, do you just go ahead and drop that piece of paper off, I'm assuming?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you drop that paper off, you guys go ahead and exit and make your way back to the inn. By this point, it's a little bit, it's like early afternoon, late afternoon, like 4 o'clock-ish. Like, I don't know what you guys consider early versus late afternoon, but about 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And as you guys come in, it's there's not a lot of people in the inn at this point. It's still pretty early for a lot of them to be off of doing their normal jobs. So if you guys, number one, if there was anything else you wanted to do, like if you want to try to see if there's any shops or anything you guys want to visit, now would be a great time to do it. Everything's open. Everybody's where they should be in terms of that stuff. And if not, you guys can just hang out at the inn, kind of discuss what's been going on, and go from there.
Do we know what kind of shops they have?
From what you guys have seen, there's a lot of natural things. There is an alchemist and an herbalist. There is a ranger barracks that is there. It's not a shop necessarily, but it's just a building that you guys would have seen that's kind of a little bit out of just the ordinary as far as terms of a normal house. What else?
Have I noticed in my time looking over the book Zrinka gave me and adding the entries to that, have I noticed any like standout potions or anything, or standout ingredients?
There's definitely some stuff that would be different for you, for sure. Like, there are some ingredients that would be a little bit more potent, I suppose, in certain fields. Things that would be a lot able to give you like slight buffs or things of that nature, for like temporary buffs and things like that, that you could definitely find.
Of what sorts?
Things like potentially movement speed or or increased strength or something of like stuff like that. Like very like nothing like crazy. Like you're not going to get invincibility, but like
right.
Things that are very minorly like able to be buffed, as well as things that are like different types of healing potions and things like that, or poisons. Definitely, there's a few of those out there as well.
Is there any sort of, I would look for the ingredients for like movement speed, any sort of healing potions, and any sort of like sleep potions maybe?
Okay, so I don't know what I just opened. There it is. So one of them, Quicksilver Lichen, is one of the ingredients that you would need for the movement speed. Let me see. What was the second thing you said? Sorry.
Anything like healing?
Healing. There's a lot of healing things. One that's different specifically is Ironwood Heart. It actually will give you an additional hit points. And then sleep was the other one, yes?
Mm-hmm.
This one. Wisp Stalks is the one that is commonly used in sleep potions.
Okay.
And then as far as healing potions, there's a couple of just common things that you would be able to pick up. But as far as anything that's out of the ordinary, that's the three big ones for which you had mentioned.
Okay. Am I able? So I want to go to the local herbalist and see if he has these or they have these, and if they don't have these, is there anywhere nearby where I might be able to look for them?
Okay, so they would definitely have them. Not a huge stock of them, but where's the? As far as the pricing of them, like a lot of the ingredients are going to be anywhere between like 50 to 150 gold, or not gold, sorry, silver a piece.
Do they take the pieces?
Yeah, so with that stuff, what you guys have in terms of money, we'll just roll with for now, because I'm trying to still figure out how the best way to manage making that easy for you guys and not making it a giant pain in the dick. So whatever money you have, we just will say is converted for the sake of argument for the time being.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Let me see.
Because I definitely didn't spend 6 hours the other day looking at that stuff and going, no, I hate it all.
Where is it? Where does it say my monies? How much do we start with?
It should say it in your equipment, I believe.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Under equipment, like right underneath.
To the top right.
Oh, that's it there. Oh, I see it. So what you're saying is I can't buy any of these?
How much do you have?
I mean, it says 10.
So that's probably 10 gold would be my guess.
Okay. It says SP, but I think it would be gold. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, I think it should be gold, I believe. Yeah. So, okay. So what it's saying is gold and then 10 SP. So every 1 gold is 10 silver.
Gotcha.
I could call my daddy for more money.
I just ask if there's anywhere nearby that I would be able to keep an eye out for these things and mark it on my map if he knows.
So he's not going to tell you super nearby because that's where he would probably get them from.
Of course.
But he would definitely be able to tell you a couple spots a little bit further out that one of them specifically is actually closer to where Granny May is, out towards that area.
Which one is that?
That you would be able to get the Ironwood Heart. The Ironwood Heart.
Okay.
But I will give you a couple places where you guys on the map where you could definitely search specifically for ingredients.
Okay.
Is there anything else that anybody else wanted to do while we were doing this?
No.
Because there is also like a general store, like that just has a bunch of like, that's where they have like, it's more or less like a farmer's market where a lot of the farmers will trade or sell like their crops or things of that nature there for goods or services and stuff like that, depending on what they need. Like it's a very big barter system as far as what they do internally, but they do accept outside trade, so they have that.
Orlo, is there one of these ingredients in particular that you're interested in?
The wisp stalks kind of stuck out to me a little bit. I think maybe being able to put someone or something to sleep at some point might be useful to us.
Did he say that loud enough for the shopkeeper to hear?
I would assume that you're probably discussing it out of range of. Like I would assume you wouldn't just be standing straight in front of them when you were talking about it.
Okay. All right. How much was that one?
5,000 gold. No. So the wisp stocks are 100 silver for a bundle, so 10 gold.
Okay, so I look around and make sure that like none of the townspeople are watching, I suppose.
So it's just you, and if you're inside of the shop, it would just be you right now.
Okay, then I pull out 10 gold and hand it to him.
Okay. So he hands you just this. It's like a bundle, like you know how they make like wrap asparagus, right? That's almost what it looks like. They're these thicker stalks of this greenish gray plant.
Excellent. Okay. What do you do with these stocks that he hands you?
So there's there's some recipes. That was the word I was looking for in that book of how to turn them into like either a powder or like if you want to put them on, for example, like an arrow, like turn it into more of a paste, stuff like that. So there's definitely different applications. So it depends on what you specifically want to do with it.
I don't know necessarily an arrow, but something that I could definitely use from a distance, maybe like some sort of like, I don't know about like necessarily like a bomb or something, but like Molotov cocktail kind of thing.
Darts.
Whoa.
That would probably definitely take a little bit more.
Or yeah, sleep darts or.
The darts would probably be more of like what they would do as an arrow application. But if you want to try to do something more different with it, we can definitely figure out exactly how sleepy drunk shit, how you would want to make that and what we would need to do to make that happen.
Okay.
Is there any? Let me rephrase. The interaction between you and Laya after she hands the shopkeeper just 10 gold out of her pocket and then just hands it to you.
So the shopkeeper hands me the wisp stocks. Is that what happened? I guess. Okay.
Sorry, he left something in the other room. If he did hand it to me, then I'll just immediately hand it over to you.
Okay, and then I just get really, really excited and like just kind of like tuck it away and immediately pull out my book and start flipping through, looking for like figuring out how to best use this. And I'm just like, thank you so much.
Why don't we get back to the inn before we go through this part?
Oh yeah, in right. And I keep reading my book and flipping through it with my head down and just follow you wherever you're going.
So you do make it back, and then you guys all kind of confer, sitting at your normal table that, as per usual, is set up and ready for you guys to go. But then Flo and Ayla, is there anything, would you guys just kind of be sitting there? Flo, would you be having another drink now that you've found a taste for the specific?
After my lack of attention this morning, I think I'm going to go easy on the wine.
And Ayla, anything that you would be drinking at the moment?
Probably some wine. Some of that wine that he doesn't want, I'll be downing, you know, more for me.
Yeah, that's the fun wine that Zrinka gave us, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I would like a glass of that.
So you can, when you get back, pour a glass of the wine, sit down at the table, and you guys can kind of discuss as to what it was that you guys found and what you guys were going after now.
So, did you all find anything?
We found out a little bit. We found out that apparently this Saldana person had 3 children, and one of them has a birthmark on their forearm.
Do I remember if I noticed a birthmark on Granny May's arm?
You most likely would not have noticed if she did or did not. She was wearing robes, like longer robes to begin with. So seeing her forearm, you probably wouldn't even have seen it all. But even if you would, you wouldn't have really thought to check for anything.
Fair enough.
And then we got some names for what the children were. Desdemona, Isabel, and Thana.
I wonder which of those would be Granny May.
Yeah, I looked over some of the scrolls to see if there was any indication on who was who, but I really couldn't find anything. There's not even really any indication if they're alive or dead in those scrolls.
Yeah, they weren't very specific, and even in some of them, they only said they had like 1 child, so they were kind right.
I did find some maps that are going to be useful, I think, in the future here.
Oh, wonderful.
If we remember to use them.
That was one time. One time. Then I just go back to the alchemy book.
Zrinka, you see, kind of waddles her way up to the table and just kind of plops herself like on her arms at the end of the table while she stands there and looks at you guys. And so, did you all find what you're looking for, dears?
We found some things. I wouldn't say we found everything.
Some things to start, yeah.
Zrinka, is there some sort of jail or somewhere that you keep those who have been captured and are going through some kind of punishment?
Oh, yeah. So usually for smaller crimes, we don't do a lot of strong punishment. Usually some type of attacks or just they have to kind of stay at home and not to be up to anything funny for a while. But for some of the more heinous crimes, if you will, they do keep some of those people in the basement of the town hall. Yeah.
And that would be the Grove.
Yes.
So hypothetically,
only hypothetically, of course, dear. Yes.
what kind of crime would someone have to commit to be in the basement for, say, 4 months?
Well, I suppose it depends. Usually anything that is more than, light stealing or something of the like will land you at least a month or so. But I think anything that has to do with any type of magic at all is instantly about 4 months, and then anything more than that is usually getting up there to some pretty serious crimes.
And what kind? There are a lot of magic users here. What kind of magic would make someone be punished for that?
Well, you see, dear, the difference is that there's druid magic, and she uses quotations, and then she says, and then there's magic, and we try to be very careful about the latter because it's it can be dangerous, especially given the time and situation.
Like, as soon as I hear dangerous, I look up from the book without moving my head. My eyes just kind of look up at the two of them talking.
You don't say anything, you just look up, though?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I perk up.
I see. All right. And I think I've asked you something along these lines before, but and I'll like look around a little bit before I say it out loud. Is there any reason that Sorith might be dangerous?
She kind of lets out a small laugh and kind of cracks a smile, and she goes, I mean, he could most certainly be dangerous, darling, but I don't think he'd do anything that horrible, I hope. Him and I have our differences for sure, but
All right, fair enough.
Why? Is there something that you were concerned about?
Nothing specifically, I suppose. Just a feeling I got. Felt a little uncomfortable when it was just him and I while I was there. And he also had a scroll where he had been keeping tabs on our movements, which was interesting.
He tends to like to know where people are. That's... I don't know. It's not always a great thing, I suppose, but it has kept some people safe, I suppose.
All right.
And she kind of leans in a little bit closer. And she goes, just between you and me, though, dear, I don't like him much myself, but he's not a bad man.
And I'll just smile at her and nod.
He is a little creepy, though. And she winks at you and kind of backs out. Sorry, were you going to say something, Sam? I interrupted.
No, you answered what I was going to ask.
Gotcha.
So then I'll look back at the rest of the group once Zrinka walks away. So while I was waiting to speak to Sorith this morning, I did get to catch a glimpse of what appeared to be some sort of ledger, log, or a journal, maybe. There was a gentleman by the name of Besdrock Winto, who it said next to his name that he was a potential magic user and was being punished for 4 months. So I just thought it would be worth asking about, I suppose.
Oh, yeah?
And also, I think it might be worth noting that the room that that Sorth was in when we were in the library, he very clearly did not want me to see what was in it, and I didn't really get a good glimpse of it, but it just seemed to be a very cluttered, disorganized room. And I was interested, I suppose, as to why he was trying to keep it hidden.
Wonder if we would be able to find a way in there at some point. It didn't indicate anything about what kind of magic he could have used.
It did not. It just said magic usage.
Zrinka, is it possible for us to talk to people that are being held?
You would have to do some pulling of strings, but I'm sure it's possible. I wouldn't personally condone the other option, though.
Other option.
She just smiles.
And Light is just going to take a sip of wine to hide her smile.
Do we need to go somewhere else to talk about the other option?
I'm not going to say anything.
Hello?
You're
You know
being very
me.
quiet.
You know how I am when it comes to unauthorized things. So I'm not saying much either.
And you know how I am.
I mean, do we want to try it both ways?
I don't know if
I don't know if that's going to be possible.
right. I don't know if there are any strings that we have the ability to pull at this moment.
And just us inquiring may, on its own, raise flags and make the second attempt more difficult.
So I'm hearing other way, right?
Other way.
I think we should think about this
I'm not saying we do anything right away.
because he's asked me to come back tomorrow. So assuming there's not something else pressing that we need to do, I can keep going in and potentially gaining trust, seeing if we can find any information worth using.
I'm absolutely okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
That works for me as well.
So as you guys continue to talk, it's getting later on in the evening, and Zrinka slides some food across in front of you all. And make sure that your drinks are full. And she just kind of looks around at you and just gives a small nod and says, you know, it's been nice to have you all here. We haven't had visitors in a long while, and it's nice to see somebody that's a little bit different, a little bit more, I don't know, upbeat, I guess.
Thank you.
I suppose I didn't realize that we counted as upbeat, but I'm happy to be of any service to you.
I mean, you have to think about what all these people around here have been through, darling.
And given all that, we do appreciate your hospitality.
Well, I mean, you're doing us a great service as well, and we hope that something can be solved, you know?
Yeah, we hope to help you in any way we can.
I didn't mean to ask if there was anything that we could do to help around here. We wouldn't have gotten as far as we have if it weren't for you.
Oh, no, no, no. You absolutely don't need to do anything for me. You do more than enough as it is. And as she starts to walk away, she pauses and turns around and looks directly at you, Flo, specifically, and goes, "You could eat, though." And she smiles and walks away.
Right after I said, "Is there anything we could do?" And I will partake in some of the food, just just to be courteous.
So as you guys finish up, is there anything else you wanted to talk, kind of get into for the evening?
I don't think so. I'm good.
Same here. I'm good.
Yep, I think I'm all right.
Orlo, did you want to try to make any of that stuff tonight, or were you gonna just try to look into it a little bit more?
Yeah, if we could make some sort of see if we could make some sort of, I don't know, Molotov cocktail kind of powder puff, kind of I throw, powder puff explode, they go night night.
Do you have anything on you specifically that you would want to make it in?
Let me see. Not yet. So I thought I had a jar, but I guess not.
I have a pot you can use.
Yes.
It's
I mean, there's...
It's a 10-pound pot.
That sounds excessive, but
You're
maybe
also
worth it.
in a bar, just putting it out there.
Okay, yeah. Zrinka, do you happen to have anything to help me with making something out of this? And I just kind of hold out the wisp socks. I was kind of hoping to make something to use this, and I'm not very proficient with a bow or anything like that.
What exactly were you looking for, dear?
I was thinking maybe some sort of jar or something where I could put the concoction into and be able to just maybe chuck it at somebody and put them to sleep.
She walks away for a minute and comes back, and she has like a little jam jar almost, right?
Uh-huh.
And she just slides it, sets it on the table and slides it towards you and says, "Don't get it on my rug."
Okay. You have my word. I'll be very, very careful.
So then, Laya, was there anything else that you wanted to do?
Not until I get to my room now.
Okay. So go ahead, and everybody's going to go ahead and retire to their rooms for the evening. Flo, was there anything else you wanted to try to do while you're in your room this evening?
Other than just, training and making sure I'm on top of my form, that's about it.
Okay. Ayla, anything?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Then, Orlo, let's go ahead and roll me a d20 plus your proficiency modifier plus either your wisdom or intelligence. I think your wisdom's higher, right?
Wisdom is higher.
+2. Yeah. So go ahead and give me a d20 plus proficiency plus wisdom.
Oh boy. 17.
So you spend, let's see, you spend 4 hours sitting there this evening. But after about 4 hours, you manage to get all of this stuff kind of packed in this little jar, kind of ground up. And when this jar breaks, anything within a 10-foot square will be put to sleep.
Okay. Excellent. And when I finally finish it and get it done, I just stand up and, raise my arms in the air and I'm just like, Eureka!
So with that, you, out of the pack of stocks, you only used 2 of them, and there's 10 of them in that pack. So you still have 8 of them left.
I'm gonna make 4 more sleepy potions at some point. Okay, great.
And Laya, you said there was something you wanted to do.
Yeah, I DM'd you.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. That's sounds good. Then everyone can go ahead, get relaxed, and we will say that you guys go ahead and sleep for the night.
Yes. Good night.
Except for let's see. 1, 2, 3. I need all 4 of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. All right. Oh, thank you for being kind. 16.
11.
12.
I see wisdom, but how do I roll as saving?
The top underneath your abilities, the saving throws are in a different box.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got 10.
Okay. So, now is when you're going to want to pull up that schmeppy there, Zamzara.
And we're going to get an attack before we even have breakfast.
It's dream attacks, I bet. That's my guess.
It's a pretty
Dream
good guess.
attacks.
Yeah, like we're pulled into some sort of plane, like an out-of-body experience when we're sleeping.
Oh.
So you guys all look at each other and look at your surroundings, and you remember going to sleep. But where you're at right now is you're standing in this big field with Off in the distance, there's this small river that runs through, and there's some trees off in the distance.
I swear, if Freddy shows up, I'm gonna be mad.
We just see some trees in the distance and we're in a field.
Yes,
it.
and
Okay.
while you're standing there, you're trying to kind of get a bearing on kind of what's going on, because you're very kind of disoriented, right?
I think that was a yes.
Yeah, Misty says you're disoriented, so you don't have a choice now.
Do we have all of our like do I have all of my stuff with me? Like my
Yes.
gear? Okay.
I forget how to make this token bigger. There you go, fixed it. And as you're standing there, you see kind of off along like the riverbank that you see these kind of shadows kind of forming and coalescing and almost coming out of the water and just materializing up along the bank. And they look like, let me see if I can actually find a picture for you guys to help kind of. So yeah, this is the picture that's actually a very, very good comparison. Oh, that's not, yeah. So this is kind of what you're seeing. It's like almost this smoky form of a figure that you're seeing the outline of.
Are you guys serious?
And yes, to answer you, do have all of your stuff. I don't know if I actually answered you or not.
Whoa, that's weird. I don't like it.
So with that, go ahead and roll for initiative.